The village of Iboko had always been a place of simple joys, situated between lush hills and windy rivers. It was a community bound by tradition, hard work, and unity. But for the past 3 years, an unrelenting drought had drained the land of its vitality. Crops withered in the fields. The rivers shrank to narrow trickles, and the once vibrant laughter of children faded to harsh whispers of worry. The elders gathered frequently under the ancient baobab tree, their faces etched with concern. Prayers to the gods and rituals to summon rain had yielded nothing but silence. Desperation began to seep into the hearts of the villagers. It was during one of these grim gatherings that Grandpa Ujo, the village storyteller, cleared his throat and began to speak of the Golden Kola. Long ago, he said, his voice resonant and filled with mystery, there was a treasure hidden deep in the forest of silence. The Golden Kola, a sacred fruit, is said to hold the power to bring prosperity and balance to anyone who possesses it. But beware, for it's fiercely guarded, and the forest does not give up its secrets so easily. Among those listening to Grandpa Ojo's story were 4 young friends. Adisa, the bold and determined daughter of the village chief. Kelechi, the ever-skeptical but fiercely loyal son of the blacksmith. Zainab, a quiet yet deeply intuitive girl who carried a charm from her late grandmother. And Chijioke, the mischievous storyteller whose humor masked a deep sense of responsibility. The story of the Golden Kola ignited something in them, a flicker of hope amidst the despair. Late that night, under a sky strewn with stars, the friends gathered by the dried-out well. Adisa was the first to speak, a voice very firm. We have tried everything else. This is our chance to save our village. Kelechi, crossing his arms. You are suggesting we go into the forest of silence? The place where people disappear? Zainab, holding a charm tightly. If the Golden Kola is real, we owe it to everyone to try. Chijioke, grinning. Adventure, danger, possibly getting eaten by mystical beasts? Count me in. With their determination set, they prepared for the journey, gathering supplies and whispering prayers for protection. At dawn, they stood at the edge of the forest of silence, its towering trees shrouded in mist. The air was thick with an eerie stillness, broken only by the occasional rustle of unseen creatures. The moment they stepped into the forest, the atmosphere shifted. The sunlight gene barely penetrated the thick canopy, and the air grew cool and damp. The friends moved cautiously, their footsteps muffled by the soft moss underfoot. Strange carvings adorned the trees, and faint whispers seemed to echo around them. As they ventured deeper, they encountered their first trial, a shimmering river that seemed to flow in defiance of gravity, its surface dripping upward towards the sky. Kelechi, peering at the water. This must be the river of the whispers Grandpa Ojo mentioned. But how do we cross it? A melodious voice rose from the river, soft yet commanding. Only those who trust in unity may pass. Step forward and prove your bond. The river spoke. The 4 friends exchanged uncertain glances before linking hands. As they stepped into the water, It surged around them, tugging and pulling with an almost sentient force. They stumbled, their grips tightening as the current tested their resolve. Finally, the water calmed, and they emerged on the other side, soaked but triumphant. That wasn't just water, it felt alive, Zainab said, catching her breath. It's a test. The forest is watching us, Adisa echoed. As they continued on their journey, they seemed to arrive at a maze of towering rocks that seemed to arm with an unnatural energy. The sound grew louder with each step, making it hard for them to think. Chijioke, covering his ears. Is it just me? Or are these rocks trying to drive us mad? A disembodied voice echoed around them. To find a path, answer this question. What grows but never leaves? The voice asked. The group fell silent, their minds racing and panting. Zainab, murmuring, what grows but never leaves? That's a shadow. A shadow. A shadow. As soon as she spoke, the rocks shifted, revealing a narrow path. They pressed on, solving more riddles as the rocks tested their wit and patience. Finally, they emerged from the maze, exhausted but with their determination still very intact. Next time, I think we should come with a map, Kelechi said, grinning weakly. That night, as they set up camp under the dense canopy, a glowing figure appeared. Its form was very beautiful, with eyes that glimmered like fireflies. It was the guardian spirit. Why do you seek the Golden Kola? The guardian spirit asked. Adisa, stepping forward boldly. Our village is suffering. We seek it to bring back the rain and restore our land. The guardian spirit studied them with piercing intensity. Many seek the Golden Kola for selfish reasons. To prove your worth, you must face your greatest fears. The ground beneath them shifted, and each friend was plunged into a dreamlike realm where the deepest insecurities came to life. Adisa faced the fear of failure. Kelechi confronted his doubt. Zainab relieved her guilt, and Chijioke wrestled with a hidden sorrow. They awoke the next morning, shaken but more united than ever. We have made it! Guys, we have made it this far. We can't turn back now, Adisa said, with determination written all over her voice. Finally, the group reached a clearing where a faint golden glow illuminated the horizon. Excitement surged through them, but as they stepped closer, the forest grew darker. A deep menacing growl echoed around them, stopping them in their tracks. Zainab, whispering and clutching her charm. What was that? From the shadows, a towering figure emerged, its form obscured, but its presence radiating menace, its eyes glowing magically with an otherworldly light. Whatever it is, we face it together, I said, gripping her staff tightly, realizing they now have before them the biggest obstacle. And that way, dear story lovers, they have reached the end of the first episode of the quest for the Golden Kola. As Adisa and her friends ventured deeper into the cursed forest, they faced a maze of perilous trials, sinister illusions,
and haunting whispers that test their courage and unity. With the guardian of the Golden Kola looming, their final challenge demands more than bravery. It requires an unbreakable bond. Will they overcome the maze tricks and save their village? Or will the forest claim them forever? The thrilling conclusion awaits. Let's begin the final episode, continuing from episode 1 ending. The shadowy figure stepped closer, its form slowly taking shape in the dim glow of the forest. It was a tall hooded being, with staff carved from what appeared to be the roots of the forest itself. The figure's voice echoed eerily, neither fully human nor entirely otherworldly. "Why do you trespass here?" it asked, its tone both commanding and curious. Adisa swallowed hard and took a step forward. "We mean no harm. Our village is suffering, and we were told the Golden Kola could save us." The figure tilted its head, as if considering her words. Then, it raised its staff and pointed to the path behind them. "The path you have chosen is dangerous, but if your resolve is true, you may proceed. But be warned, the forest does not easily yield its treasures." Before they could respond, the figure dissolved into a swirl of leaves, leaving the friends alone once more. Adisa turned to the group, a voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. "We've come too far to turn back now. Let's keep going." The path ahead grew darker and more twisted. The forest seemed alive, with branches that reached out like grasping fingers and whispers that came from nowhere. The friends stayed close, their resolve tested with each step. Suddenly, they came upon a clearing where a massive tree stood out at the center. Its golden leaves shimmered, illuminating the area with an otherworldly light. "Could this be it?" Chijioke asked, his voice filled with awe. "It's too easy. There has to be a catch." As if in response, the ground beneath them rumbled. The golden tree began to shift, its root pulling free from the earth. Before their eyes, it transformed into a towering beast with bark-like skin and glowing eyes. This was no ordinary tree. It was the guardian of the Golden Kola. "To claim the Golden Kola," the guardian boomed, "you must prove your worth. Face the trial of unity." The friends exchanged nervous glances. What does that mean?" Kelechi asked. The guardian waved its massive hand, and the ground around them began to shift. The clearing transformed into a maze, with walls of thorns that stretched endlessly in every direction. "You must navigate this maze together," the guardian said. "But be warned, each wrong turn will test your bond. Only true unity will guide you to the heart." The friends entered the maze cautiously, the torches barely illuminating the path ahead. At the first fork, they hesitated. "Let's go left," Chijioke suggested. "No, right feels safer," Kelechi countered. Adisa held up a hand. "We need to decide together. Arguing won't get us anywhere. I'll suggest we vote." They agreed on the right path, but it led to a dead end. As they turned back, the walls closed in, forcing them into a smaller space. Whispers filled the air, each one targeting their insecurities. "You'll never make it," one voice hissed at Adisa. They blame you for everything. Another voice whispered to Kelechi, "You are not brave enough." Came a voice directed at Zainab. "Stop!" Adisa shouted, a voice breaking through the cacophony. "Don't listen to them. They are trying to divide us." The friends huddled together, their unity pushing back the oppressive voices. With renewed determination, they chose their parts carefully, working together to solve the maze. Each challenge they faced, crossing a chasm on a fragile bridge, deciphering riddles etched into the thorny walls, brought them closer, both physically and emotionally. At one point, they encountered an illusion of Babaujo, trapped and calling for help. "Leave me, save yourselves," the illusion cried. But Adisa saw through the deception. "This isn't real. Keep moving," she urged, and the group pressed forward, shattering the illusion. Finally, they reached the heart of the maze, where a pedestal stood holding the Golden Kola. Its glow was almost blinding, and the air around it seemed to hum with power. But as Adisa stepped forward to claim it, the guardian reappeared, blocking a path. "You have done well," the guardian said, its voice softened now. "But one final question remains. Why do you seek the Golden Kola?" Adisa hesitated, then spoke from her heart. "Our village is dying. The rains have stopped and our crops fail. We seek the Golden Kola not for riches, but to save our people." The guardian studied her for a long moment before stepping aside. "Your intentions are pure. Take the Golden Kola and use it wisely." It handed the Golden Kola to them. As they exited the maze, the forest seemed to part for them, guiding them back to their village. When they arrived, the villagers gathered, their eyes wide with hopes as Adisa held out the Golden Kola. Rain clouds began to form overhead, and the first drops of rain fell as the villagers cheered. The drought was over, and the village was saved. But more than that, the friends had proven the strength of their bond and their ability to overcome even the greatest challenges together. And that way, the story ends and the Boko community has its ring back. And so, dear viewers, our journey comes to an end. Adisa and her friends have not only saved the village, but also learned the true power of unity and courage. I hope you enjoyed this adventure as much as I've enjoyed sharing it with you. What did you think of this story? Were you surprised by the twists and turns? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so you can join us for more exciting tales in the future. Until next time, remember, every great story begins with a spark of courage. See you in the next episode.